streaming my very temporary starting soon image. Well, fuck you too then for being cool. Oh my god, I actually gained a subscriber while we've been walking around here. Apparently my starting soon image is yeah. Everyone who you know, once you pass by your scum period of life should definitely check out Keymailer. You're never quitting scum? Ever? I'm live. I've just muted you all.
Let me just switch to the live scene then.
I'm live.
Everything.
Unmuted and live.
Ah! Okay, yeah, I am.
Ah!
So editor, then I'm gonna take off and do performance mode. Boom. I'm gonna go back down. Okay, I'm good. You guys are good. We're all good. We all got water. We're all good. Okay, sweet. Ah, okay. That's stretches. Everybody good? Thumbs up? Good?
Thumbs up.
Okay, good. Hey guys, I'm Slave to the... Hey guys, I'm Slave to the Games, and we're back with our first week of discussion for SCUM, and we're going to recap on everything that's happened so far since the early access for the streamers who ended up getting an early access key, which is even more early than anyone else who got it on release of the actual early access. We're going to talk about pretty much what we expected before getting the keys, what we expected while playing the game, what we like about the game, what we dislike about the game, problems occurred in the different stages of the game, all the way up to right now, and what we think of the game as of the stage it's at right now. I'm a YouTube channel, and I'm also a Twitch channel. Thank you guys for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and also either subscribe or follow my Twitch. Chaotic, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, this is Cha0ticrob. I just have primarily a Twitch channel. I haven't really gotten into the YouTube scene much. If you're enjoying our streams, don't forget to leave a follow. And I'm going to pass it on to SyntexToxy.
Hey, folks. Yeah. Hey, yo, folks, I'm SyntexToxy, and I am a streamer from Croatia, basically. I only do Twitch streams, and that's about it. Let's go to Jakov. Kako Dane here.
Hello. Well, I'm pretty much as new to the streaming as you can probably see by the channel, and yeah, I hope to continue going on with this and improve, obviously. So, who didn't actually do it?
Let's go to CAG.
Okay.
It's the Kagmeister! That's me. Yeah, I'm a Norwegian, mostly YouTuber. I rarely do streams, but these flippin' geezers have turned me over to streaming lately for SCUM. And it's been very exciting so far, and I'm very excited to be allowed back in, join you guys again.
Yeah, it was a really tough decision, you know, since you were allowed, apparently. We had to go through a lot of trials and errors to figure out if we really wanted this person called CAG to come with us.
Yeah, like, do we really want to be associated with averageness?
Well, you know, we have to make sure that somebody brings a keg with them every time.
Yeah.
So he brings in CAG, he's not even an item now?
Everyone needs someone to be the slower guy, you know? The guy who lags behind.
Think about it this way.
I
we
thought
need
that was my
a
job.
keg. We need a beer keg, so we have keg to bring us the beer keg.
Oh yeah.
Wait.
Then there's that.
Everybody look at Syntex. Syntex, would you like to say something real quick?
Why?
That's why. Anybody else see that?
No.
What?
No? You're like this. You're like, hey, how you doing?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, like a
Except for
mock
the opposite.
talking
Your
to
voice
you?
comes first.
Maybe my connection is a bit screwed up.
Oh yeah, it is too. His video's like.
Should we like kind of cut this and like try to fix this? Do you want to just go with it? Because I
Just
mean, I
fucking
personally
me.
can cut. Oh, okay, go with it. Okay, so if you guys are gonna see him
Half-second lag.
filming a really old film,
Filming
so,
a really
moving
old
on to
film?
that, let's start with the Syntex. What did you expect before we got the keys? Before we even had it, what did you expect?
Well, I expected a lot less than what we actually got. What I thought is, I thought it's gonna be a pretty basic game without really much crafting and stuff like that is inside. And also, I thought that the puppies would be a lot worse off than they are. That there wouldn't really be any danger in the game. That it would just be basically run around, do whatever the hell you want, and avoid other players.
Okay, I know definitely for me, I was thinking about the same thing as you. I know one thing that I can say that I don't think any of us expected was the fact that we'd actually be able to own our own server. Throw that
That'd
out.
be nice.
I was not expecting that at all. I was not expecting somebody to donate for us to be able to actually start our own. I know we talked about it, but it's not something I actually thought would be happening right away. And Kag, it looks like you want to say something.
No, I just waved back. I got an emoji in chat. Hey,
Oh, okay.
Simwell.
And also, kudos to Nick's Genesis for the server and the donations. Thank you a lot.
Much appreciated. I'm extremely happy. I believe we actually already are good for almost the second month as well. Though we may be actually turning that down for everybody who is playing on our server and watching this. We may be taking down the slots to a number that's a little bit more reasonable, judging as we haven't really been filling it right now. But also, it's going to depend on how it works out for the full month of how we own the server. Okay, looks like you're going to say something. Chaotic, what did you expect? Oh,
Well,
never mind, Syntex.
personally,
Before we continue.
I just realized what's going on with my camera.
Yeah?
It's using the Chroma key app instead of the actual fucking device, and that's why my frames per second from my camera have been reduced by half, and that's why it
Okay.
looks like it's all lagging behind because we're used to 60 frames, not 30.
Okay.
intriguing.
As you were going to say.
I might
Uh-oh.
leave for a moment from the call.
That's gonna screw up everyone's cameras.
Gonna be messed up.
Leave. No, wait, don't leave now. I forgot about now quickly, but don't leave. Deal with it.
I'm just gonna say we spent for those who I know that I had a couple of viewers waiting for the stream to start. I just want to point out that the reason why we delayed a little is because we had problems with the camera setups.
Anyways.
You know that you're actually pointing fingers at every one of us. The setup is completely different, so you might be pointing at nothing.
Yeah, I know. I'm taking a wild guess.
Yeah, and on stream, you were pointing at the left
Mine is in a
nothing
complete
corner
line.
and the top nothing corner because you're top left.
Yeah, and also you pointed at me, Slave, in my one, and I think I was one amongst the first ones too, to finish.
Okay,
No,
so
chaotic
Slave.
was. But anyways, chaotic, as I was saying.
I didn't say first. I said one of the first.
Okay, so Slave. On yours, Syntax is your top right, Keg is your bottom left, and Kakodai is your bottom right.
Okay, so that way. That's the reason.
You're showing to the game for me right now.
It doesn't matter what you see, it's what they see.
Yeah, you're kind of your camera. Well, actually, let's just continue with what actually.
That's what I was saying.
Okay.
What were you expecting before getting a key?
Well, when it comes to the game, there were one or two things that I was a little surprised about. Personally, when it comes to the crafting, we didn't really get
No,
too much of a chance
before getting
to...
the key. This was before even playing the game. Before.
What you expected once you
Yeah,
actually.
not when you went in the game. Before.
As somebody that's played a lot of
survival.
survival games, I've done a lot of crafting in those games, so I was expecting the crafting to be more finished when it came to the early access launch. With how many glitches we've seen in the game so far, when it comes to the crafting, I was just slightly disappointed with that fact.
I'm just gonna point out.
I know
Well, that's all
what we
good and
expected.
dandy.
I'm saying how my
Exactly,
expectations were different than your guys'. Is what I'm saying.
I know, but what I'm saying is we're not talking about how we felt like about when we played the game versus our expectations. We're talking about our expectations before playing the game. I mean, you can't use information you got while playing the game.
I just want to point out that I love the fact that one of the native English speaking people have trouble understanding the English in this discussion.
Wait, no.
Hardy,
Chaotic isn't here. I was gonna point, but he's
Why are you
not
constantly
on the camera.
pointing at random things?
Because I remember where everybody was, and then I forgot that Chaotic wasn't on.
Yeah, you don't have
doesn't have a
a
camera.
camera on your cam.
Basically, I'm gonna teach you. If you point to the left, to your left, you
Nothing.
point at nothing.
Yes.
Literally at nothing.
No,
And that's
he's pointing
Syntax.
at Keg for me.
This
I'm
is-
just telling from his
This is
stream.
Kag,
Okay,
and then you're
let's
down here.
stop arguing about fucking.
Alright.
Everyone keeps bringing up my cameras.
Back to Scum.
Anyways,
Yeah.
do you have anything chaotic before the keys, before you touch the game at all?
That it was going to be a good kick-ass survival game.
Okay.
That's it.
Moving on to Kakodani. What did you expect before getting a key?
Well, I expected it to be more than DayZ, which it currently is, but there's still a lot of bugs that kind of annoy me and kind of happen randomly, and you
But
start dying.
you're
because
talking
that's
again about things that
We're
are
supposed
in
to talk
game.
before
What the
the
fuck?
game.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you guys?
Okay. Yeah, okay. I expected us to be better than DayZ, which it.
We should have raised our kids better.
I blame the father.
Okay.
Okay,
Hey,
you can blame him. You can blame him.
Okay, so did we already ask you, Kag? I'm so confused now.
No, I have not been asked. I have not been asked. But I'll try to actually answer the question though. For what it's worth.
Swear to God,
Chaotic.
Kag.
What I expected a game that looked well on trailers, but didn't play as well in when you actually got your hands on it. I expected more bugs. I expected more lagging and stuff like wall glitches and such. Is what I expected.
Okay, you're barely safe. You're like halfway over the line. I was waiting. I was like, Kag, don't you disappoint me? You like got to the point where it was like just about there, and you're like, oh, okay, here's safe. And I was like, okay, so clearly we all suck at answering this question.
It's part of the fun.
So now we can talk about our impressions through the actual stream early access. So this is the initial time when we had the key. Nothing after that, guys. Just to be specific, nothing that changed, nothing that was implemented. Just what happened in the early access, where only the streamers on YouTube and Twitch, whatever else they were streaming on, were able to play the game before everybody else. What was your initial impression of playing this, Syntex?
Damn! Sorry.
As I said, when we talked privately, I expected the game to be a lot more buggy than it actually is. And the game actually feels quite playable, especially when you compare it to other games like DayZ. DayZ still in the current state at times isn't playable, for me personally at least. So when I actually got into the game, I didn't really have much problems. There were the occasional bugs here and there, but it was nothing... What?
Oh, when you were talking about the DayZ thing, I was looking for all the DayZ haters. You know, the ones who love DayZ and were gonna kill us for mentioning it.
Yeah, but
I don't care. I love DayZ as well. But it's hard to say that DayZ would be better in this game. So yeah.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, if you take a look at the DayZ that's currently entering beta, if it's not entered already, SCUM in the first 4 days, even during the early streamer access, is a lot fucking better. And as I said, rarely did I actually come across game-breaking bugs that would make me not want to play the game or anything. But I think I was one of the lucky ones, since there were a few messed up bugs that made the game unplayable.
Okay.
FYI, DayZ is still in early access, and the recent views has put it to mostly negative. Just saying.
However, before we move on to Cha0ticrob's impressions, for everybody who's just randomly curious, it has been released on Xbox apparently, so yeah. Have fun with that, guys. DayZ, it's been released on Xbox apparently.
I was like, SCUM is released on Xbox? What the flapsicle?
Cha0ticrob, what's your impressions through the streamer early access, that specific slot where we had the few days to play before everybody else? What was your impression in those moments?
Honestly, I was very impressed. The frame rates didn't really drop for me. I personally am playing on an RX 580, which is their recommended one for the graphics card. I didn't really get too many frame drops, with the exception of a couple of times here and there, but it didn't really happen too often. And with an early access game like this, at an initial release, not even at an initial release, at an early release, like what we got with the early streamer keys, it was phenomenal. It's just epic how well they've done when it comes to the visuals.
Is that okay?
Next person.
Okay, I was waiting for you guys to like kind of pass off. I was gonna keep the flow going, but let's go with Kakadani next. Wait, he's muted.
Dude.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
There you go.
There you go.
Not, I had to post on the Discord, right. But basically, at the beginning, I was expecting as it was because it is early access. It was just releasing and all of that. So I did expect some glitches to occur, either server-wise or client-wise. It doesn't matter. But I was just actually surprised by the sheer speed they were actually fixing them and actually stabilizing the game more and more, and actually adding more content. I think in the past week they have added actually a lot of materials in the game, which is kind of
streamer early access.
Early access.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but still, even in the streamer early access, they did add a few things in, and they did fix a lot of things quite quickly, actually. So they can also.
Well, yeah, they did do a patch on the second day of the streamer early access.
Yeah. Even on the first one, didn't they?
No, second day.
No, second day.
Okay, then second day, yeah. But
okay. Wait, was that it?
Well,
you guys are supposed to pass it off when you do it.
All right, so what my feelings on the game release, other than or not the game release, but the time we got to play with it before the release, Is it played superbly well compared to what I was expecting it to. I was expecting a lot more lag, a lot more glitchiness, as I also touched upon when we weren't supposed to touch upon it. But it worked out fine. I was also expecting a lot of micromanagement in terms of your metabolism, your health, all that sort of thing. Luckily, though, you can just patch your wounds fairly simply. You don't have to, if you have a varied diet, you don't have to worry too much about getting all the good stuff in your body, so to speak. I'm actually superbly surprised at how well the game is actually made compared to how badly it could have gone. What do you think about this stuff, Syntex?
Well, Syntex already went.
I had no clue who hadn't been talking.
It's
Oh,
actually me.
well,
I'm the last
Slave.
person.
But you know, that's enough about me. But Slave to the games. What do you think about, you know, the pre-release streamer keys access part of game life
So in
things?
terms of adding a thing to what I expected, before the game actually came out and we were able to play in the Steamer early access, I did not think I would be messing with the micromanage at all. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna eat and drink. I'm not gonna micromanage my character at all because I didn't think I was gonna do it. It seemed like a pain. It seemed like something I didn't want to do, and I was like, you know what, it's cool that it's there for the people that be diehard, like, okay, this is what I need, etc. But I'm not actually gonna do it. I'm just gonna drink, eat, and then be done, you know? But once I started playing the Steamer early access, whoever wrote that, streamer early access, thanks a lot, Syntex, just saying. I actually ended up micromanaging my character. I ended up making sure I got the vitamins. I specifically found vitamins to intake and then eat. I specifically tried looking for milk. I tried looking for orange juice so I could keep these up, so I could try and get my character to take the debuffs away that it gave you. And I enjoy it. It's not as tedious as it is made out to be. It's something that I thought was going to be a lot more complex, a lot more hard to understand, opening the BCU window just by glancing at it through a stream. And then, so I don't go too far into that, basically it looks a lot more complex than it really is. You just really got to read over it a couple times. It's still a bottom left section. I really don't understand what that is. But other than that, like, everything else is self-explanatory. You just read it and you completely understand it. It'll be super easy. It's not that hard to understand and use. And once you get using it, you can actually effectively work around it and decide what you need to do for your character. Now, one thing that is, everybody here has generally been giving out things that are like, yes, this game has been superb, this game's been great, and everything. Now, I want to be the person who sits there and is on the opposite side. I want to be the person who doesn't say everything that's great about the game, because it's a great game. I love the game. It's definitely better than, like Syntex said, DayZ in its current state. In my opinion, Syntex's opinion, maybe everybody else's opinion here in the, you know, stream. For me, there were bugs, obviously, but it's expected. However, one thing I expected in this game is that the player interaction would be great, and for the first day of the streamer early access, there wasn't really anybody there at all. And then the second day, there was a little bit more people. So there wasn't really a lot of people that I could run into. Like, there was servers, but people were really split between it, and there wasn't really full servers where you'd interact with a lot of people. Wow. And people did, I'd say like 50% of people were like, okay, I'm just gonna go do my own thing. Well, the other 50% were just KOS because, I mean, there was no point in saving your character because your character was lost, so nobody cared at that point.
Yeah, but actually, there were actually a few full servers, but they were all in Europe, so...
Well, yeah, but not at the time, like, when I chose one. So,
well, yeah,
and then when I did,
the
I already had
servers were buggy.
And that's supposed to be our fault?
Stuff, but later on, they did actually pretty much European servers were full. One was full and two were like almost full. Just saying.
For this, also adding on to that, like for the streamer early accesses, since being there, I literally spent most of my time in the airport. And I know where Syntex spent most of his time, and him and I have pretty much stayed in the same area since the streamer early access. And it's just, I think it's something that we like. Moving on from that, I guess, we'll move into the problems we encountered or saw during this streamer early access. Specifically, only this time, guys.
All right, so, well, one of the... one of the issues that I personally
Oh, the
have
balloon
found.
starts.
No. Oh my god.
You just
Begins
with
again.
a balloon every single time we stream.
Yeah. So, but I still have to look to the side because there's something blue blowing up. You know.
As you were saying.
Yeah, one of the issues that I found personally that probably isn't going to matter to anyone who's not recording or streaming the game is that it plays perfectly well on my screen when I'm playing on, but it lags in OBS.
Could be a computer problem.
I have also the same problem constantly.
Yeah.
I
I've
do
never
not
had that issue
anymore.
so far.
I had it at the beginning, but I solved my problem through changing my settings in OBS.
Well, flippin' A for you.
Yeah, I haven't had that issue since day one at all.
Yeah, same. But I haven't had having issues in the game, but they have been fixing that and well, lagging,
Yeah, same here.
lagging.
So I guess we'll put it this way: instead of listing like every single problem we found, what's the biggest problem you guys found with the game? Glitch,
Easy.
anything?
That
during
one.
The streamer early access.
Hypothermia.
The vomiting glitch.
The what now?
The vomiting glitch, where you
Oh, well,
spawn
yeah.
in and you've got the sickness that's constantly making you vomit.
I didn't get that from
Constantly
spawning
giving you
in. I
diarrhea
did
or
get that
something?
randomly, like at some point. I don't know how or why.
You
I
said
haven't
yours
been
was
eating
KOS
flesh or
syntax?
anything like that.
Okay, mine. Everybody here knows what my damn problem was with this game, and this is something that's still relevant, but it was mainly here. It happened the most. I lose my guns, and I don't mean I just drop them and I forget where they are. I will take a piss. I will loot a stove. I will just switch my damn gun, and they will teleport out of the world and just completely disappear from my
Yeah, that happens. Yeah.
being, and they're gone. But it's like it's not that it just happened. It's
I wish
happened
it-
like 12 times to me.
I just wish I
All the
knew.
time.
I just wish I knew what it felt like to have a gun.
To have a
Well,
gun.
we really
Syn-
played like
sy-
twice though, haven't you?
Syntax is giving me a gun though.
Okay.
Let me guess,
For a
you
second
got yourself
forgot.
with it?
So now, guys, since we've obviously gone over what we thought about the early access, now, what about during release? Impressions the moment you got into release?
There were-
Syntax.
Too many people join.
Well, the impressions were a bit bad for the actual release of the game due to the servers not performing quite well as we all expected, because there was simply too much fucking people downloading the game. Going into it, the servers nearly fucking exploded for a moment there, I believe.
It's like crashed like the first like 10 times in the first day, right?
Yeah.
It was the basically since most of the official servers like were the most buggiest of all. It was the most easiest actually to find the random private servers, and yeah, so we all of a sudden got a lot of people join us. But then again, since the server crashing was wide to any of the servers, it just wasn't going well.
Yeah, going on with that, I think for me the biggest problem, of course, was the crashing first day, because it happened a lot, and it's like you'd be very noticeable. It's not something you could just okay, game randomly crashes. You'd be doing something, and then you wouldn't be able to do anything. You could run, but like your stats, you would have queues. Like your stats wouldn't go up or down. You couldn't open doors. Like there was specific things where everybody at this point who was playing the game would know. They'd be like, okay, can't open door. Hey, everybody, we're crashing. Game's going down.
Yeah.
Just stop what you're
Rubber
doing.
banding as well.
Yeah.
Teleporting.
But the rubber banding also still happens though, but not
But
at
not as
that
much.
quantity. Yeah, it's just client lag, I think.
What about you, Kag? I know you haven't really played too much, but what about since release? Have you experienced too much?
I agree with the whole aspect of it bugging out a little, like server crashes and such things, but I expected as much, so it wasn't really like I didn't really care that much.
Just a disclaimer, guys. For Kag, he came in after the crashes happened. It literally stopped crashing about an hour or two after he joined. And maybe had, like, one or
How
two
come
crashes
you
after that.
don't take the hint? It's like the CAG power, you know? I come
That's
in.
exactly what it was. The second you joined, server stability.
Oh yeah. I'm the server maestro.
Okay, so
What does a server look like? No clue.
So problems during release. So let's say what's the 3 biggest problems we each noticed? Let's try this. We'll start with Syntex, kind of go around to Chaotic, then to Kakadani, and then over to Kag, then to myself. And we'll just list the 3 main problems we thought. Try to keep it different than everybody else, if we can.
So is that 3 problems each?
Yeah, if you can.
Okay.
You can't just pass it off. So we'll start with Syntex.
So 3 problems during release, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, why are we even doing this? Didn't we just talk about it?
Yes, but it was mainly the biggest problem. Now we're just gonna go around and list a couple. Remember, this is your list you made, so I'm going off what you made, bro. don't complain to me when you made this list.
Okay, so the main problem... main problems during release... fucking hell, the main ones are already listed. That's my main problem. I don't know, puppies being able to walk through the door. That was a major issue for you as well, I believe.
Yes.
Faith?
Yes, it was.
There we go.
Never happened to me.
Another big issue I had, both through the early access and the early release, is there was no explanation how to zero your weapons, for instance. I had to literally try different fucking combinations to be able to zero my weapons.
I still don't know.
What do you mean 0?
Leveling your
Adjust
scope.
the sights of your scope.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I still don't know that.
Okay, that, and also at times it still happens that when you try to remove an attachment from your AKM or AK weapon,
Did they
it gets
fix
bugged out.
Mhm.
They fix that in the previous, in the last update? Or
It's still
something like
there.
that?
That's
Still there.
whatever.
Huh.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Chaotic,
Okay, so-
you're 3.
Okay, first off, I'm gonna start with the egg.
Of course.
That was fixed.
Of course.
That was fixed.
I know
that
it's,
the
it
last
was.
update.
but it was a problem at the release.
It was.
The infinite egg exploit. What this is, for those of you that don't know, is it was an egg that you could find in the game. Any egg you find became quite literally an unlimited food source. Because when you go to eat it, it would not despawn out of your inventory. So you can just keep eating it over and over and over and over again. So there's that. The second one for me, I would have to say, is the issues they've had with the crafting system.
Dodgy.
The crafting system at the moment, there's quite a few recipes that it'll give you alternate ingredients. For example, the improvised string or the improvised rope or whatnot. And then it won't even let you use that ingredient for the recipe.
Syntax, we can hear you.
You can?
What?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
we can hear you,
everything.
Syntax.
Why?
Because you didn't mute yourself.
We can't hear him.
We won't be able to hear him when he unmutes himself, though. Or unmutes himself.
Yeah, am I good?
I heard like bits
Yeah,
and pieces
yeah.
of the second, to be honest.
Okay. So the second issue, or the second problem that I found, is that with the crafting system in the game at the moment, it's currently glitched, so quite a few of the recipes won't accept all of the different ingredients that are available for them. A perfect example of this is the metal sword. I tried to make it with improvised rope, but it wouldn't let me. It wouldn't accept the improvised rope as one of the optional ingredients. So I had to go and make some bark rope, and it would work at that point. It worked at that point. So a lot of the recipes have ingredients that they'll say that will work for it, but don't actually at this point. So all I gotta say is try different alternates for all those items.
Ingredients.
From alternates, yeah.
Okay. You got another one you want to add, or you want to switch right over to Kakadani?
There was one that I thought was pretty entertaining, and I discovered this the other day actually. So I know it's still a glitch that's in the game. I don't know if it's intentional or if it's accidental. But while I was exploring the power plant at the bottom of the dam, you could literally walk up the side of the dam.
Yeah, I noticed that. I did that actually
Wait,
yesterday.
what do you
can walk
mean?
it up. You could just
If you
climb
go
the
to the
dam.
bottom of the dam
Like
At the power
the actual
plant,
wall? You can just walk
Yep.
up?
Yep.
What
You
the
can walk
hell?
up the side of the dam up to a certain point.
Okay.
I don't know if
Okay.
it was intentional or
There's
accidental.
no way that's intentional. There's no way they wanted that to happen. No.
But it makes the power plant so much more accessible at that point.
Okay. Kakadane, what about you?
Well, the biggest problems, other than the ones that we actually discussed already, were that you kind of get sick for no apparent reason sometimes, which can be annoying because there's actually no way to cure them, even though if you take like 3 different pills that might cure it in real life, nothing happens.
Yeah.
Because you kind of start losing health, stamina, you start vomiting randomly, and you might even get diarrhea because, why not? Why not just one thing? Add 3 more. Uh, well, losing the guns, yeah, that happened to me. I was like running. I didn't actually drop the weapon. I didn't hold it anything. I was just running. I looked in my inventory, and my gun was gone from it. So yeah, that also is annoying. Well, what's the third one?
Well, that's up to you.
I know. Well, bug, huh? I'm not sure about. Well, we actually discussed all of the other
Yeah, it
bugs
could be-
that are annoying.
yeah, it could
Oh
be
yeah, the
anything.
client lag. Yeah, the client lag. After they kind of stabilize the server, they kind of mess up a little bit the client, and it can. I should be able to run the game at the maximum quality, but I'm not because it's lagging. If I put it at the max, it does no difference. So
Okay.
that's annoying.
Now, Kag, we'll go with you for your 3.
Yeah. Number one is gonna be the losing of weapons or losing of what you have in your hand because you do stuff, climb a ladder, whatnot.
Wait. Do you
You
have
mean
3
if you
weapons
drop-
when you do that? Because
Yeah.
if you have 3 weapons, you're gonna drop the third
Yeah,
weapon.
Yeah, but it
Otherwise,
also sometimes happens when you don't
Unless you've
have
got
3
enough
weapons.
room in your inventory, then it
Yeah.
goes in your inventory.
Yeah.
Unless you manage to place something, basically place something where that weapon should go and just gonna drop it, then
Yeah.
because it doesn't have the required amount of slots for it.
Yep.
Sure,
Which is also
but maybe I'm just maybe I'm the one glitching. That's possible. But I feel like it also drops it sometimes when I don't have when I have enough room in my inventory, and when I also have the holsters available.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we did recommend.
That's happened to me, so that's something that could be a problem.
Yeah, it's just, and also I think that's it.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, like we said, you've had a limited amount of time, so it's not like you played it days and days out. Well, for me then, 3 problems that I really found. I'm gonna try not to list the ones that we've already listed before because we've already pointed out some pretty drastic ones. I'd say biggest one for me. God, it's difficult because we already got all the big ones, was the voice chat. I'd have to say, because when you use voice chat, I could talk and then people would hear me all the way across the airport as if I was sitting right next to them talking like I am to you guys. Perfectly clear. There was no voice fade drop. And Syntax, if you're talking to us, we can't hear you. You're muted.
I'm just thinking poor people at the other end of the airport.
Slave, yeah, that's why I told you when they implemented the actual chat that you should not use it because I can hear you all the way across town, and
But like I misjudged like it. I was like, oh, okay, he could just hear me like that, but I didn't know like how clear people heard you.
Yep.
And it's like they hear you clearly. It's not like, hey guys, how you doing? It's like, hey guys, how you doing? Like as if you're right next to them, like I said. The next thing I have
Oh, the difference.
Sorry, those out there that don't know, that are watching, what he's talking about is the proximity VoIP that the in-game has.
Didn't I say in-game voice chat?
You said the voice chat. You didn't say anything about it being the proximity VoIP or anything like that. So there might be people out there that don't know. I don't know.
Self-explanatory. Okay, whatever. The in-game proximity chat. The next problem that I say with this is there is no lock for your containers that you store things in. There's no lock at all. People could just walk up and take whatever's in it. There's nothing to like stop them from doing it. Yeah. You're muted.
You're muted, Syntax.
I am not.
Now you're not.
Yeah, you were.
No, I'm literally not muted. I don't know what's happening with my fucking Discord, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, you were basically
we
like
can hear you
a fish
now.
mouse.
You were just like...
yeah, like a fish.
Hey, talking about the in-game voice chat, I still have problems with it where it does not work more than half.
Oh, you cut out again, but he said of the time. He said of the time. Yeah. So for some people, there is times where the voice chat, in-game proximity chat, doesn't always work. Another thing, and I find this as one of the biggest problems for this game, aside from everything else, obvious, like optimization-wise, is the vicinity window. It is way too big. You can loot through walls. You can loot through the roof. You can loot through the floor. It doesn't matter. It's like a 20-foot range where you can loot anything as long as it's not in a container. Anywhere, no matter what it is. Like it could be steel, a bunker, and if you're like 10 feet above this one area that has a bullet, you can take that. You don't gotta worry. You use the force, and it teleports into your bag. It's ridiculous. It needs to be fixed. And I'll add one more specific one before we move on, and that's that you can loot from 15 feet away. You don't actually have to be like say this is the box you're looting, and this is you. You don't have to be like, okay, I gotta loot this. You can be like, okay, I'm looting. And it's not even an exaggeration. You really can loot like 10 to 15 feet away. Then it needs to be downgraded. It's still a problem as of right now.
Oh, they just want you to be a Jedi in this game. That's just it.
They do. There's plenty about the Jedi moments I could bring up as well, but we'll get to like problems we can list off at the end. Moving here is what has been fixed that you guys have noticed so far, other than let's say the obvious optimization.
The egg.
To be fixed with the first patch itself.
I know what your problem is, Syntax. Your mic's going in and then it's going out. I heard your voice. It's like it starts low and then goes louder and then goes quieter, and it's doing that.
I think you might have to reposition your mic or something. Notice whenever you're turning away from the mic, it's not picking you up too well.
Yeah.
Okay, what about now?
Perfect for now.
So, there was a...
Oh, there it goes again.
Here you go again. Okay, we'll start with Chaotic for now, and then we'll go to Kakadane, and then we'll go to Kag, then we'll go back to Syntax to see if anything fixed.
Okay, so are we just doing random fixes, or are we doing...
Random things that you've noticed that have been fixed since the game has, all the way up from the stream, all the way up to now.
Okay, well, I'm going to pull up the patch notes.
Oh, that can be a long list, bro. That can be a long list.
Off the top of your head that you've seen. We can do that later. Working for now.
But there was one that I found very entertaining. There was a glitch with one of the animations for, what was it, the Hunter 55, I think? When you went to go and aim with it, it would look like it was glitched, so the animation made it so the gun was pointed backwards behind you.
What the hell? What? I never saw that.
It was weird as hell. Exactly, yeah, I know. It was funny as hell. So I think they fixed that at the very first patch, because when I logged in the next time, it didn't happen again after that first time.
Okay. Chuck it on at you.
The things that they fixed, well...
That you noticed.
Well, some of the animations for the guns, I did notice that they're actually more smoother than before. The intake of food isn't as bugged as before as well. You can pretty much eat, and the energy wouldn't go up. They actually fixed that, sort of. It still bugs here and there. You're not thirsty after like 5 minutes of gameplay anymore, which is like,
yeah, that's good.
What else? Oh yeah, they reduced the sensitivity of the sentry bots, which is like really good because before they even suspect you, they will like 360 and headshot you in the head in no problem at all.
Well, let's be specific on that. They haven't decreased it as much as they've increased
yeah, increase the
the
range,
cones for where they can
the
fire.
cone. Yeah, okay, yeah.
They've made it to where they can go into buildings. The only thing they've changed to make it any easier to fight these things would be the fact that now they have an increased miss chance. But other than that, now they can go inside the hangars. They can go inside anything they can fit in. So
I know that's gonna
That
be much
plus
more
they've got a
interesting.
lock-on distance of I think 500 meters.
500 meters. Yep.
Yeah, which is
They increased that as
outrageous.
well.
If you
Which I
that.
like
But
it. Like, don't get me wrong.
no, I do like it, but it's kind of they can snipe you from a mile.
Oh yeah.
A lot of mile, like so.
No,
Sure,
they,
you
they
get
were
something
fairly
between you and
accurate at
them.
that time.
Okay, and moving on. Oh, you had another one?
Yeah, just kind
Okay.
of forgot it about now. Well, okay.
Oh, okay. Moving on to CAG
We
then.
cannot hear you clapping. We cannot hear you clapping.
No.
No.
Yeah. My biggest. I'm not sure if it was a bug or a fix, but what they changed that I really loved is the amount of stamina, or how fast you burn stamina, so you can run further.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait,
Yep.
was that it? Were you doing a thumbs up?
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, for me, is one thing that I saw fixed was how you hold certain weapons. And the certain weapons, some of them have been fixed. Like, I don't really remember exactly which ones they were, but most of them have not been fixed. When you hold a weapon, like, it'll actually go through your thumb. I believe that the closest one to being fixed that's had a little bit of a change is the AKM, because it used to be when you were holding any gun, it would be like, here's how you see your hand, and then like the gun would be like here, and you'd still be holding it, so you'd move it and it'd all be like this. It wouldn't actually be in your hand. And they fixed that for the most part, but now the gun's just going through the person's hand. So I mean, I guess that's a fix for now. I mean, it's better than seeing a floating gun that isn't in your hand. Other than that, I haven't really noticed too many direct fixes, like I said, other than optimization. I mean, there's obviously a lot of problems in the game that need to be fixed, but I personally have not seen much, other than the fact that because of the easy anti-cheat that's been now up and running as of today, I believe.
Yeah.
Before you could go into loot assist box, it showed 12 bullets. After you leave it without looting it and come back, it'll be a full 20 bullets then, and you can just take that out. And then as well as there's another one to where, like, if you have a clip that's empty, you could take the bullets directly out of the loot container, put it in your clip, empty it, leave, come back, and then it'd be full again. And you could just keep recycling to get endless ammo. However, just to mention for everybody who's watching this now, if you do that, you will be banned. The easy anti-cheat will catch you any exploit as well as cheating.
Yeah,
Exploiting will be counted as cheating.
Yeah.
So any form of exploit that you've done or used before, don't do it. Even if you get away with it 1 or 2 or 3 times, you may only get away with it 1 or 2 or 3 times. And do you really want to risk being banned from such a great game because you just wanted a few more bullets? I don't think it's worth the risk. Also, Syntex, how's it going over there?
I'm just going to add one thing. It's from the patch notes, and it's something that they changed from when they were doing the streamer early access to the official early access. They disabled the radio stations that we used to hear walking around in the game when we were doing the streamer early access.
Oh, yeah, right.
And they did this specifically for the YouTubers that were having issues with the music, making it so that their videos were getting cut off by YouTube.
Really? That never happened to me. Mine's been fine.
Mine too.
How often did you go by the radios?
I sat there and I went to one and I danced to it for a while, like 2 minutes. I sat there and I was like...
But yeah, apparently some YouTubers are having issues with it or something.
Oh yeah, it's fine. I'm glad they did, but at the same time, I kind of, like, I liked it, you know? I liked hearing music in the game. They should add something,
nice.
like copyright-free music. There we go.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Nope, can't
Or
hear
if
you.
they have their own set of music or whatnot.
Okay, now, going on from this, other than what's been fixed, what have you seen that's been removed? Like, per se, the obvious one is the one where you can, like, look at somebody, they run into a building, and you see them through the wall. That was obviously removed.
Well, yeah, the quote-unquote wall
hacks.
One thing that I noticed when I tried to log in after the official launch is there's some skills that aren't available anymore when it comes to putting skill points in.
Yeah.
So there's, I think, 5 or 6 different skills that they took out for the launch, because I think they're fixing them or something.
Yeah,
I don't really know why.
Yeah, some of them were actually set to not even a basic or medium. Some were even set to advanced, like medical and cooking. They were both set to advanced, even though you cannot use medical at all. But okay.
Yeah. I mean, technically, with the medical one, you could go up to somebody, and then you could like hold F on them and then patch them up, etc. Or
yeah, but you cannot do that on yourself.
But yeah, there was nothing you could do like that would directly impact it. So I think what they did is they took out the ones that weren't really doing anything. One thing I think that was weird that they took out was the throwing, because people definitely threw things. And I don't know what else you do other than, like, if you're throwing things, why would they take out the throwing skill? I mean, what else is that for? I throw grenades, I throw rocks.
Same thing with the cooking skill. It's not in there anymore.
What I mean is, like, when you go into your character creation and you try to put skills in, you can't put it into medical. You can't put it into throwing now. Like,
well, you'll probably be able to do it later on, but still.
Well, yeah, obviously, but the thing is they were there. These skills were in the game at release, and then, like, I think it was like a day
at the early access.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, at early access.
At the streamer early access, but
yeah, streamer early access on release is when they took it out. But there was skills there, and like I said, just some of them I can understand, because medical you couldn't really do anything. Like, there's some I understand, but throwing, like, why did they take that out? Like, what is there to do? Like, you're throwing something. Like, obviously I'm not the game developer, so I don't really know. Like, maybe there was something wrong with it. It wasn't like tracking properly, and they wanted to make sure it was fleshed out, etc. I don't know, but to me, they could have left it in and just worked on it from there. I mean, at least in my opinion. Something else that was removed from it. I don't really know too much that was directly just taken out of the game, to be honest with you guys. I don't know about you guys.
No.
Many things were removed.
Yeah. Because anything that was, like, taken out, like, there was that wall hack, obviously, that was completely wiped off the face of the earth.
Before the exit. Oh.
There was one other thing in character creation. There's one of the tattoos isn't available now. Because there used to be more tattoos, but they took one of them out.
What they did is they actually switched out, because apparently it had a Nazi symbol on it.
Yep.
Or Nazi.
Yeah, it has a Nazi symbol.
So they just took out parts of it, but the tattoo's still there. They just took out parts of the tattoo.
When did they re-implement it? Because when I did my character, it only gave me 3 options for tattoo.
Another explanation
when we did the stream early access, it had 4 options.
Another explanation for that is because, for me at least, because I have the developer bundle, the first tattoo I get is a developer exclusive tattoo. So you can't get that one. Nope, still not working. You can't get that one without actually getting the developer bundle, you know what I mean? So that could be why you still can't choose number 1, because number 1 is for developer bundle.
Could be.
But moving on from there, since obviously I don't think we're with too many that's been removed, because I haven't seen any that's been taken out that much at all completely, like I said. Unless, Kag, you got anything to add to this?
Nope.
Okay. Then moving on is, what is our general impression of the game right now? Like, not just bugs or anything, just our overall, like, do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you have hopes for the future, etc.?
Nothing, Syntax, nothing.
I'm going to move right to Chaotic, then go to Kakadani, and we're going to go to Kag, and then I'll go last.
When it comes to impressions of the game at the moment, I would have to say I've got a lot of good things that I'm thinking the game will be in the future. Me personally, until they get the fortification and the locks implemented into the game, I think it's going to hurt it quite a bit.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I was just saying that I personally think that the game is going in the right direction and that it's going to be really big in the near future. But until they implement the fortification and the locks, it's going to be hurting the game quite a bit.
I think this is one of those games that has the possibility of becoming I love how Syntax is just like stroking his. I'm not gonna say what it.
Right.
The next big thing.
Yeah, Syntax is stroking it. In other news, yes, this could easily be the new big game, like the new PUBG, the new Fortnite.
The Jay-Z killer, as some people are calling it.
Well, that it already is.
Very well be in the future.
hey, they got released on Xbox, so there's a chance it'll be revived. No. We can
I
give them
doubt
that.
it.
Yeah.
From the stream reviews, I wouldn't get my hopes up.
Okay, well, continue on, and then we'll move to Cha0ticrob. I'm just going to point out quickly, it was supposed to be his turn, then you, Keg. But
All
Keg
right.
takes priority.
No.
No, we already went here. You're doing it.
All right. Well, I think this game has the potential to become the next big thing, but it depends a lot on the road that the developers takes from here, like what they focus on and how they do it, and how they also work alongside the community. How much they listen to the community, how much they don't. I don't think they should be taking all of the suggestions in the community, but they definitely need to listen.
Can I just point something out?
From what
Yeah.
I do know, they actually do listen to the community.
Yeah. I agree so far.
The center of your camera, and don't move it around too much because the light in the back keeps blasting the camera every time you move.
Is this better?
No, it's, I mean you can focus like that if you want, but
Move closer.
there we go. Okay, so Cha0ticrob, what about you? General impression.
Well, the impression so far is really good. I mean, it has a lot of potential. Just even the graphics are like way more amazing than any game of any of that kind that I have ever seen so far. I'm kind of looking forward to the actual when they implement the quests, the NPCs, and even the vehicles, because I'm gonna be one of those crazy people that just rides all over the place and tries
I'll be with you.
even ram the freaking sentry bot, because why not?
I'll do that with you.
Yeah, you're just gonna sit there in the passenger seat and be like, I was along for the ride.
For me, I have to point out that I'm very, very. I don't know what the word is. It's not concerned. I'm
Worried?
It's not worried. It's okay. Let's put this for example. Escape from Tarkov is another game I played. Now these two games are both very realistic in specific ways. This one's a little bit more in terms of eating, drinking, etc. We heard you, by the way. And then Escape from Tarkov is more in terms of like the gunplay, the weapon attachments, the weapons, the armor, etc. Like it has all that is better than what this game's at. But this game's better because it's at open world. But the thing is I think this game's gonna do really great. But the thing that I guess you could say in some way worried about is that Escape from Tarkov right now isn't an open world. But when they get all the maps together, they plan on combining it and having having an open world survival aspect on it for it. So when that hits, I mean, these guys are going to be directly competing. It's going to be pretty much, and I don't want to say pretty much the same game because they're both different games, but they're very similar. Like, if you put Escape from Tarkov when it is open world, these games will be so identical, it's not even funny. And the only thing that'll separate it apart is the fact that you'll be able to fortify and have these events inside, which are literally team deathmatch, cargo assault, and whatever they plan to add. Right now, let's be honest here, guys, the events are not really that interesting. Barely anybody does events. Barely. And when they do, it's a quick thing, it's done, people just move on. Everyone's interested in open world survival, which I don't really mind too much. But as I was saying, putting these two together, unless something drastic happens with SCUM, and all their features are implemented, and all this stuff happens, and the open world just becomes so amazing, before Escape from Tarkov releases its open world version, I'm going to be very concerned that SCUM may not be able to compete with Escape from Tarkov's open world, because like I said, they're too similar. If Escape from Tarkov releases its open world, they will be too similar at this current point.
Well, let's not forget Dead Matter.
Yes, Dead Matter is going to be very, very big when it comes out, from what I've seen.
Chakarana, you're trying to say something.
It all pretty much depends on how the developers go from this point on and what they actually plan on add and actually what they plan on add from the people that are actually suggesting for the actual community. So it can be one of the greatest games. It has the potential actually to be one of the greatest games, to be one of the most fun games.
Oh yeah.
And as for one of the things that you said for the events, yeah, nobody's actually doing them because there's currently no point in doing them. You only get like extra 10 fame if you win. That's it. No other benefit. You can play CSGO, that's gonna be much more satisfying than the event.
Adding on to that, so that you guys get an understanding of this, the only difference right now, say that Escape from released this, and I say this because Escape from Tarkov has AI humans that shoot. They're called scabs. And then also, this one, SCUM, has robots that guard certain places. And then puppets that are, okay, let's be honest, they're pretty much zombies right now because they can't do anything else right now. I definitely think they'll do more things in the future, but right now, they're just zombies. Or otherwise we call them puppies. But in the current state, say like too much hasn't been added, and this works, and Escape from Tarkov opens, like, I want SCUM to succeed. And I like SCUM. It's, in my mind, right now, SCUM is the best open world survival game. In terms of not being dinosaur related because of Ark, let's be honest. Now, taking that, if Escape from Tarkov does that, and they release their open world, and SCUM hasn't developed like everything that we know is going to be coming out for it, it's mainly the fortifications. Even if they add vehicles, it's not going to be enough, to be honest, to keep me from being more interested in Escape from Tarkov's open world, because it's more developed in terms of combat, it's more developed in terms of quests, it's more developed in more things than SCUM is right now. And like I said, unless a lot of things are added to make this a better open world, I feel that most of the attention is gonna leave. I feel like you're gonna go towards what's obviously better, right? Because you want to play the better game, and except for the diehard players, of course. I want to play SCUM, but if Tarkov releases, right now Tarkov wins for me, and that's what I'm worried about. Like, I really want SCUM to be the next big thing, like we're all talking about. I want to be able to go into SCUM and have it be this game-changing open world survival. And the only thing right now that separates this from any other open world survival is the fact that its metabolism system and dynamic character body change. That's really the main thing, aside from the giant robots, that changes this and makes it separate from anything else right now. And that's what I'm really worried about.
I just have a question in regards to Escape from Tarkov. What's the price tag on that at the moment, anyways?
This is a different thing. I'll mention that later.
Well, I'm just wondering, because we're comparing the two games at the moment.
Oh, okay.
So we've got SCUM at a $20 price tag. How much does Escape from Tarkov cost?
Also, how...
I'm sorry. I heard how long. Well, I'll answer your question first, Chaotic. It depends. It's $60 at the base price, but then they have sales all the time. And then it goes up to like 80, 120, 150, and it adds all different, like, it adds different, like, storage spaces, etc. for base premises. It's
serious.
It's a lot more hardcore in a lot of different terms. The only thing Escape from Tarkov doesn't have that SCUM has right now is the fact that Tarkov is in an open world right now. It probably won't have vehicles in the open world. I don't know. And then, because it doesn't have the open world yet, so they haven't released what you're going to be able to do in the open world. I'm assuming it's just going to be Escape from Tarkov, just looting. But then adding to that, it also doesn't have, actually, that's it. It doesn't have the metabolism system. That's it. That's the only thing that separates SCUM from Tarkov right now, other than it being open world and having a metabolism system. That's why I said I'm so worried. Continue.
Have to keep in mind that Escape from Tarkov has been out for how long?
I think it's been in development for a couple years now.
Yeah, but how long has it been available for early access?
Well, it's not. It's still in beta.
Yep.
The access?
Yeah. It's been in development.
For how long has it been in beta?
How long has players been able to play it?
Yes, how long have you been able to buy the game and actually start playing the damn thing?
A year?
Because at that point, it's technically early access.
Not even?
Closed beta started July 28th, 2017.
Okay, so, yeah, going on 2 years almost?
Okay.
Wait. No,
that's a year.
A year. It's a little over a year. That's when people were able to actually buy the game. Before
Yeah,
that, it
how
was just
about
closed
SCUM?
testing. Well, obviously, we know the time's different. That's not what I'm saying. Obviously, I want the game to do good. I'm saying what I'm worried about the future development of it. Because, like, what I'm comparing it to is when Escape from Tarkov does its open world. There's little change right now. Obviously, in a year from now, SCUM is going to be different. And that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping in this year.
And we also got to remember that there's only X amount of players interested in these types of games, and if they're both at the same point in their lifespan at the same time, like you can play SCUM open world, you can get the same kind of experience from SCUM as you can from Escape from Tarkov. That they're going to be competing regardless of whether or not one has been out for a year or 2 or 3 days.
That's
the
what
reason
I'm
why I was
saying.
asking about the price tag is because there's a lot of people that play these kind of games that have to consider the price tag due to limited finances.
Well,
Yeah.
And if you've got a game that's got a price tag of $20 versus a game that's got a price tag of $60, and they're both almost identical games, which one are you going to choose?
Well,
okay, but here's the thing. It's not that they're identical. I'm just saying,
I'm saying
using
that
the
if
base...
they have the open world implemented in Escape from Tarkov, you said they would be almost identical.
No.
Almost.
What I meant by that is that they would be open world survival games. That's what I mean by identical.
But they would be appealing to a lot of the same player base.
Exactly. And then not only that, Escape from Tarkov is a lot fleshed out. It does have its glitches. Tarkov people, don't hate me. I know it has glitches, okay? It has its glitches, it has its problems, but all games do when it's in the beta, and even after that. But the point is like Cag was saying, like I was saying, when this game releases its open world, unless SCUM releases most of its features, it has something to separate it from Tarkov. Whether the price is different or not, because that might not sway some people. People might just want the better game. Unless SCUM does something, and please don't hate on me, I love SCUM, Escape from Tarkov will be the better game. It's going to have a lot more features, it's going to have a lot more modes, it's going to have quests, it's going to have a lot more guns. The physics in the game, in terms of shooting your guns, everything are a lot better. Like, it doesn't matter how long which game's been out. That's what I'm worried about, because I want SCUM to succeed.
Because a lot of stuff might quite change a bit. There will be more weapons added, because actually right now, as of this point, it is not even fair to compare SCUM to anything.
I'm saying in the future.
Or in the future, because we don't even have any proper grasp at what SCUM is gonna be about.
But we do.
Better said,
we have sort of the grasp, not the full one, not even close. We do know that they're gonna add quests that the main goal is to escape the island.
Yeah, but that's my thing. We don't see it in the game right now. For Tarkov, you can see it in the game right now.
You can't though.
Most of the stuff.
Can't. Because okay, first of all,
open world, but the rest.
You can't, because what I'm comparing it to here is a feature that isn't even in Escape from Tarkov. It's not even there. There's no information on the open world other than there will be an open world. I'm not comparing everything like currently there to the current state of SCUM right this second. I'm saying when the open world for Escape from Tarkov comes out, because there's no information on it. So to be specific, there's actually no information, and there's more information on SCUM's open world than there is Escape from Tarkov's. I'm comparing the two open worlds, not the game Escape from Tarkov is now with the game SCUM is now. That's what I'm saying. And there's plenty of information we can use to take from one and take from the other, and then judge which one you'd want to play, or which one would be better in the end in terms of information we've been given through streams, dev replies, dev podcasts, on what the direction is they want this game to take, to make an accurate assumption. Obviously, things can change on where they might be taking this game. Me, I'm just giving my own personal opinion about what I'm worried for SCUM on something that I believe is a realistic thing to think about. I'm not saying, obviously, SCUM's gonna drown out and die because of Escape from Tarkov, but I am saying that this is something that I'm worried about, something I'm concerned about.
We're repeating it ourselves now. We should probably go to the next question.
Well, it is a discussion. Actually, this is the ending we have, so it's all about discussion. Like,
I
with
know,
this.
but we have been on the same question for about what 15 minutes now, 20 minutes.
But
Oh,
we can move on, but I just gotta point out that this is a discussion. We're all supposed to
I
discuss
know,
about
but
the game.
I suppose we have already talked about it. I mean, you have repeated yourself multiple times now, so.
Yeah, but you guys don't agree with us, so we gotta change your minds.
I mean, I'm not trying to change minds. I'm just trying to voice my opinion correctly.
Well,
Like,
one of the
I'm
things
not
that I
trying to
think
change.
that, well, when it comes to the expectations in the near future, I think that SCUM is going to be precedent setting in the fact that they're merging two genres together. They're merging the survival game genre with the typical PvP genre. Or sorry, not PvP, the FPS genre. So you've got games like Call of Duty and whatnot, where it's instances of FPS games. And then you've got games like DayZ and whatnot, which are 100% survival based. Yes, they do have first-person shooter mode, where you can go into first-person perspective and shoot in, but they're not part of the FPS genre. Reason why I think it's going to be precedent setting is because of how they designed the game. It will literally merge those two genres into a new genre, I think.
Man, I don't really want to be that guy, but like, I literally have something to say that, but I feel like if I bring this up, you guys are gonna tell me that I'm bringing it up again. But it's something that needs to be brought up because we're comparing it to that. Like,
I'm not comparing it to anything. I'm just saying.
no,
what
like
I
saying
think
it's
it could be.
presence. Like, it's not really though. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, the PvP aspect in it's great. Like, I like it. It's a good feature.
Okay, let me put it another way. What other game has had instance battles like
Okay, but
Call of
that's what
Duty
I'm
and
saying.
whatnot,
I
as
can list
well
it.
as a survival version or survival portion of the game?
Does it matter if the game's out right now or if it's going to be?
A game that's out right now, because if it's not out,
A game that's
then
out
this
right now
game
that's
would
going to be
create
doing it.
precedent setting.
Yeah, that's going to be doing it. Something similar to that.
Okay, what game is doing it?
It's the game I was talking about. Escape from Tarkov. It's going to be doing it. You're gonna
Okay,
have an open
whichever
world.
one manages to successfully do it first is the one that's going to be precedent setting.
Yeah,
Because
that's
they don't
what I'm
have the
saying.
open world survival part for Escape from Tarkov yet. Whereas they do have
Exactly.
the instant battles and the survival portion already in SCUM. So SCUM is already winning in
Exactly.
that aspect, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. But what I was saying is, for mine, it's future plans. Like, because this obviously, like, Team Deathmatch right now, nobody's playing events. It doesn't matter if it's doing it right now if nobody's playing it. Like,
That's
nobody
because
is
very
playing
few
it.
people have interest in it at the moment.
Exactly.
Everyone has more interest in the survival because they didn't really showcase the survival prior to the game coming out. So everyone's doing the survival because they want
they
to
definitely did.
explore. They want to learn more about it. Most of the stuff they had before the game actually came out, with the exception of the 3 days before it came out, was mostly on the events.
They also talked about the survival a lot on it. It's literally
They talked,
didn't
but
need
they
to
didn't
talk
actually
about it.
showcase it in the streams too much, or in the videos.
Even with that, what the hell happened to the screen? Oh, okay, never mind. It's a picture that was sent by Gag. Even with that, they don't need to talk about it. Like, we already knew what was going to be expected. Like, of the survival part of it. You're going to survive in an open world. You don't need to be shown a billion trailers, a billion streams to expect it. I knew ahead of time that I was interested in the open world way before the events, even though I saw more events. I didn't care about the events as much as I cared about the open world.
I didn't care about the events at all.
Just to try it. Yeah, like, when I saw that, I was like, an open world survival game where your body changes and all this metabolism, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like, that was my thought.
I was like, the devs are sick. They have to be.
Yeah.
I mean, you can eat people. You have government-sanctioned zombies. You have a reality TV show about killing other people. I dig this.
Yeah.
Hit the like button, you know?
I have to say, for me, I bought into SCUM for its future development, for what it might be.
Well,
Like,
I think we all did.
yeah, like, obviously we all did because we got the game, but for me it's like, the events were never the part that got me. Like, I guess you'd say with CAG. I never wanted the game because of the events. I saw the events and I was like, And then when I saw even like gameplay of the events, I disliked it even more, to be honest, because to me, like you said, it felt a little bit like Call of Duty. Like I saw what I saw, I was like, I don't think I really want to do that. But I do play events now because like I'll be in the open world and I'm like, I want to do an event, I guess, but it's not there.
And it's also a little bit about the whole aspect of which kind of player base do you appeal to. I think different players play survival games versus different people play Call of Duty and Battlefield and Battlefront and whatnot.
Yeah.
In general.
So I think like with that, Call of Duty people, Battlefield people would enjoy the events a lot more than people who are in it strictly for the open world. Like you and I said, Kag, we're more obviously in it for the survival.
Yeah.
Game, not the events. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just agreeing with you there.
I thought you were gonna add something, but yeah, like for that, like I for me, like if I saw it and I thought it was just gonna be like another DayZ or something like that, I was like, no. But for what really sold it on me is I saw the future development, and I was like, you know what, this idea seems really cool. And when they were like, oh, there's gonna be a story, I was like, I mean, I guess I'm okay with that. I mean, if they want to add a story, yeah. I mean, I'm only interested in the open world part and the fact that like you don't have to build random bases like an Ark or, Mistraded. You don't have to build separate. You can fortify it. Like that was a huge seller for me as well, because when I was playing Miscreated, I remember one time I was playing it, I was like, I wish I could just fortify this house I'm in. It'd be a lot easier. I don't want to go gather supplies. This would be the greatest thing ever if I could do this. Like a survival game would do this, would be going in the right step. I even said that. And then SCUM is gonna do that and is already planning to do that. And I was like, oh wow, this is cool. They're actually implementing this, and it actually looks like it's gonna be great. And I guess in a way, I think this game is gonna be the best game for open world survival. If it has nothing to compete with it, because it has great features that I believe are going to lead it, like you said, to be the next big thing. Because, I mean, like you said, the dynamic changing of the body, that's my greatest thing. That is something that no survival game has right now, as far as I know. If there's like one that is there, then I don't know that. But as far as I know, there isn't one. Do you guys know if there is one?
I do not know of any.
No? Okay. So as far as we know, SCUM's the first one to do this. And that's something that's super unique, and I really... With it, the events, I honestly am probably not gonna, like, even when new events come out, I'm probably not gonna be going into them. Like, I might try it out, I might mess around with it.
I think they're probably gonna change the events completely, and because I have a feeling not many people like it overall in the whole game, and they're probably even suggesting quite a lot to actually change them, and so there's a quite good chance that they might be changed completely to something else. So we will see.
I think going on to what you're saying, Kakadani, is instead of doing events like Call of Duty, as like Chaotic said, where you do team deathmatch, they might just implement events that happen in the open world itself instead of dragging you to instances where you're still in the world. I think they're just going to put events in the world. I think that, judging by what I've seen so far, unless it picks up, that would be the better approach, in my opinion. Because, like Kat and I have said, Chaotic and everybody here can surely agree, nobody's really interested in the events. And the max people I've been in an event with are like 4. And like, sure, other people have gotten a little bit higher than that, but like, in order to get an event, I have to literally type T and be like, event starting soon, deathmatch here, and then I wait for somebody to join, and hopefully people join.
But isn't that also a bit of a problem with our server not being really full?
It can be, but it's the same thing that applied before we had our own server in the early access and when it was on release. I've gone to other ones just to like test it out, make a character real quick just to see if I can get into it.
You traitor.
Hey, I'm playing online, don't worry. But I sat there and I wanted to test it out. Like, cause for me, it's like one of those things like, I can't have and I can't play it because there's no one wants to play it that I want to play it. Like, it's like, oh, I can't play? I want to. But then, like, if it's like there all the time, then I'd be like, not interested. It's just,
I can honestly see them making it so that the events are mandatory, given the whole TV show lore.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of making it optional, where when they do an event, it'll randomly pick 10 or 12 people out of the world that's in that server, and it'll throw them into the event.
I could see a lot of problems with that. Syntax?
Yeah.
You're muted again.
Or just Mike isn't working.
No. Okay, so I guess I'll talk while he's fixing his mic again.
Have you tried? Have you tried plugging it in?
Have you tried turning your computer off and turning it back open?
Is it connected to power?
Make sure it's plugged in.
Going off from that, Chaotic, if they did that, what if you're in the middle of a firefight? Hey, what's up? What if you're in the middle of a firefight? What if you're in the middle of starving? What if, like there's so many situations here that could ruin that. Like, I think it should remain choice-based if they keep these events. Because like Kag and Kakadame, Syntax and I, and you have said before, not many people are interested in the events. What about the people who don't want to do the events at all? Like,
well, you could make it. You could make it the server lock though. Like this server has mandatory events. Join at your own. You know.
At your own risk, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can come up with things that like would counter it, but I mean, as this feature by itself, is that really something that would be nice to add to?
Well, I'm against it.
It would add to the
Y'all start talking.
It would add. It would add to the aspect of the game's lore, because it is a TV show, and the broadcasters do have control of the prisoners in terms of what they do and what they can't do, and what they're allowed to do at any particular time of being on the island.
It's just like I said, like I can agree with you. Like I definitely think it's something that really behind the lore it could carry. Like I definitely think that if they wanted to do that, like you know what, the TV show demands. We knew this. The audience is bored. We need combat. Like,
exactly.
I definitely think that's something that could happen. But my greatest concern.
Randomly pick a few people, just start fighting.
Yeah, even with that, my greatest concern is a lot of problems that come with that, and not only that, it's like you said, they could implement a thing where this server is mandatory, and then the other servers are not. But like, as far as I've seen in any server I've been in, every event's been low. Based on this, I mean, it could be just, and you can't say it's like the game just came out, nobody's playing, because they have had crap tons of people buying it. Like it's over a couple 100,000. I don't even know what it's at now. That was just on the day of the release, and there was 50,000, I believe, people trying to get into servers at one point. And there's people playing this game, but the thing is the events are still extremely the minority of what people are doing. Based on this, would it really be something they'd want to do? Like, it might, like, people might play it, might enjoy that, but I kind of have a feeling if they did that and they took away the choice, because it's supposed to be choice-based and you're supposed to be able to choose, because it's literally their pitch, is when they were saying, oh, you don't have to participate in anything. You don't have to do anything. You can choose what you want to do. That was their pitch. If they forced that, don't you think people would avoid those servers? Like, they just leave them and they'd be dead based on this, like how it's been playing right now?
Well, what they could do to combat the boredom of the viewers, instead of having a constant forced event, is to have a situation where, say, if there's not enough participants for so many events in a row, then they'll do a forced event here or there, where they'll randomly pick people off the island. Not for every event, but just every now and then when participation of events starts to fall, kind of thing.
I guess if they did that to counter it, they'd have to implement some feature to protect anybody being taken. Syntax, yeah, I'll explain after.
Well, I have to say now that I can actually say something. Did I like the idea that Slave said about it not actually being like instances where you get transported, but actually having to go to an event location in game. I really like that idea, because the open world survival aspect is awesome for me. And also, how about the producers could maybe drop a random airdrop somewhere on the map that has quite good loot, maybe even some loot that you cannot find anywhere else, which would make
steal it from PUBG.
Wait, what?
I said steal it from PUBG. PUBG has loot.
Pub what?
Yeah, but PUBG will do that first. Like
you guys haven't played PUBG?
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just saying it didn't. Didn't do it first. The King of the Hill or something like that did it also.
Yeah, just survive. It's the person who created PUBG.
Yeah, I didn't play it, so I didn't know they had something like that. But yeah, the idea basically, people would want to get all of that limited stuff that they could get, and then others would try to steal it from them, and there you go, into entertainment.
I do have to point out going on that
because it draws everyone to the location.
I do have to point out going with this, based off from that, we also have to keep in mind that obviously everybody watching this is literally just discussion. We're discussing like key points and argue back and forth. Obviously, I believe all of us are capable of being able to discuss and then argue different points at whatever value we want. We can. I know I'm capable of arguing completely against what I believe in if I want. But to add on to this, we have to keep in mind that one reason people may not be in events, not me particularly. This doesn't affect me at all. I just am not interested in events. Is because there's nothing you win. Like,
yeah,
you
there's
only
like
no
Alex said, you
incentive.
go in,
fame.
you
10
spend
extra
10,
fame. Who the hell
and then you
cares,
come
man?
out and it's like, oh yay, 10 fame. I couldn't have just crafted a rock, another rock spear, and another spear, and then gotten that 10 fame. Like, there's nothing you get from doing this other than the experience.
Yeah, they've got to give better incentives for the winners.
But even with the incentive and whatnot, if somebody doesn't like to play those events,
They're not going to.
But
might.
if the incentive is right, it would get those people in the game. For example, if there's something that they really wanted that they can't seem to find, for example, an attachment for an SVT, to be able to attach the scope, which is ridiculously hard to find.
But my main problem with that, though, is that people are gonna be feeling forced a lot for having to participate into events. Now, and
I was
that's
actually.
the thing. You do not
I'm
want
waiting.
players to feel forced into doing something.
I'm
Adding on
talking
to what
about
you're
giving an
saying.
incentive.
Oh no, like that's exactly what he's saying though. Is like, say like, okay, like for instance, you can find most things at the airport. The C2 bomb.
Yeah.
You can find most things, literally. Like, I'm pretty sure you can find everything in these two locations in the game.
You actually
Everything. And I mean, like, it's not even a joke. If you go to the airport, which don't go to my airport, but anyways, if you go to the airport or you go to a bunker, you can come out fully decked and you're good to go. Like, your end gear good. Now, if they sit there and like, okay, well, you can get a silencer if you win this. Sure, I mean, you can play it, but then, like, what if you can't get in open world? Or what if you can? Like, what would stop people from, like, okay, I can get a silencer here, or I can just go to the airport or bunker? Like, I don't like events anyways, so I'll just go to the bunker there. Why risk it there? Like, I'll go find it myself. No need to go there. Like, for me, the only way I could see me being like, oh, hell yeah, I'm joining this event is if they're like, here's a permanent, or like a temporary or some, like, cosmetic to where you're wearing this really badass gun skin or clothing skin or something that, like, you can keep if you win. Like, something like that. Like, that's the only thing I could see that would give me any form of, like, I definitely have to play this event.
Stuart also says that he really enjoys the game so far.
No, I didn't hear it because 3 people started at one time, but I'll answer Chaotic first. There is very little SCUM can do in terms of incentive for events to convince me to go into the event and actually be gung-ho about playing it and not, like Syntex said, feel like I'm forced to play it. Like, they have to actually give me something that I feel I want to come into the event or to get, not I have to go into the event to get. Because if I have to, like Syntex said, I'm gonna be like, okay, well, I guess I have to do this to get this damn thing, but so I'm gonna do it. I don't like it, but I'm gonna do it. Like, that's how I'm gonna feel if that's the only way I can get this thing. I'm not gonna like going into the event if that's the only way I can get it. Like, it's gonna make me as a person feel forced to play this, and I don't want to feel forced to play a game where it's all about choice.
What if they made it so that you couldn't get scopes unless you had to participate in events?
I would hate that. That would be horrible. As you were saying, Kag, you said something. I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, I said Stuart joined the stream. If you guys remember Stuart, who's pretty much in the same boat as me. Haven't had enough time to actually get into the game as much as he'd like.
Yeah.
But it seems good so far.
I guess we can go on one thing that I noticed that I think has to be brought up to everybody who's expecting to be playing this right now at its current state. For a second, I thought you were blowing a balloon, but I didn't hear it or see it. So, basically, going off this, the end game content for this game would be shooting sentries. That's the hardest thing you will be able to do next in line with a horde of zombies next in line with the people. And I say this because, don't get me wrong, game's great. Best survival open world one so far right now at current state. But the only thing to do in this is to survive, shoot players, shoot sentries, or shoot puppets, and loot. That is it. That is the game right now. Now, I'm not saying this to make you like not buy the game, because I definitely think you should just support the devs, play the game, and enjoy it because it's a great game.
And it's flipping
But
cheap.
all you can do right now. Obviously, aside from the events, but you already heard nobody plays that really. Now, it can be fun. Like, I'm sure some people have made their own servers where you can role play, etc., and you can play however you want, and hopefully that works. But I think what's really great about this is it's a work in progress. It's going to improve over time, and I'm really hoping that this gives. I really hope that honestly they focus on the open world rather than the events. And I know that that's kind of contradictory to the whole plot of the game. It's just like I said right now, my main interest, Kag, I'm pretty sure your main interest is the open world. The events coming out, like aside from the story missions, because I don't know what they're gonna be. I'm assuming bunkers that we found, Syntex, where they had the door. It showed the symbol to open it, but we couldn't yet because we didn't have whatever it was. I will probably be interested in the story missions because it's in the game of the survival. Like, I will probably do those. But depending on how good they are, will depend if I still care more about the open world. I think 90% of everything should be focused on the open world, 10% on the events. Because as far as I've seen, I'm not a fan of the events, and I'm not going to be. What about you, Kat?
I completely agree.
Okay,
I have the exact same opinion.
okay, what about you, Syntex?
Well, same thing, basically.
Oh, okay, Kakadane!
Anybody?
Does anybody disagree?
Well, I did say a lot of those things that you actually already said about the events. They're not really, well, good. They're not real. There's no incentive to go actually and do them or anything like that. And I think they're currently a waste of time. But
I mean, in
that
the
might
future.
change. So yeah,
Yeah.
that might change. We'll see.
Okay.
Well, when it
Sit
comes
down.
to the events,
Oh.
what we could do is having 2 or 3 competing clans if they ever actually get the clan system up and running.
Well, right now we're pretty much assuming we're pretty much going off like, where are you in terms of events versus open world? Are you more interested in the open world, or are you more interested in events? Like, what's your percentage for this? Like, we all pretty much agree, we care way more about the event, like the world, the open world, not the events, than we do about the events. Events are just, to me, I'm pretty sure to Kag and Syntex and Kakadani at this point, side things. Things that are just, I'm bored. I guess I'll do it. It's like, to me, it's just whatever. I guess I'll do it. Like, it's not really anything.
For me, I would have to
interesting.
say, unless they make some drastic changes to events, for example, giving better incentives or making it a forced system, then I would definitely say the main things I'm looking forward to are on the, what's it called, survival side.
Yeah. I can't hear you again. Okay, there we go.
But we also have to keep in mind that I still do like the
Kakadane.
I still
That's
do
insane.
like
Oh my
the events for the reason that they are a way for people that are purely focused on PvP kind of leave the rest of us alone and not go around killing on sight. But even that hasn't been proven to be
I was
true.
gonna say, like, I get where you're going with that, but me being at the airport at least, I don't know how much it happens at the bunker, but at the airport, I run into people all the time. And you better believe, if you're at the airport and you see somebody, shoot them. They're not nice. Nobody at the airport's nice. I try to be nice, but then occasionally I get angry and then I'm nice and I kill everybody at the airport. But
Let's just try to be nice and then you kill them.
exactly, or I do that. Or if you're my viewers and you're watching, I give you guys a kill them or not. That has happened. But basically, oh, okay, it's Chaotix leaving again. You know, okay,
Sorry,
we should be
my
used to this
glitch.
by now. But going off from this, I'm gonna say, and this is drastic, I know, but unless they do something with the events in the next 6 months to the year it's in early access, unless they had something amazing, I am completely okay, and I know this is gonna sound horrible, because of the base of the game, with them completely taking out the events and then making events that happen in the world itself and not instant. Because at this point, if this is how the events are gonna be for the rest of the game or for the future, I'm not interested in it. I'm not buying it. I'm not sold on it. I'm gonna stick to the open world. I'm not gonna participate in the events. Nothing will convince me to go there. At least from what I see right now. Obviously, things can change, like we've all mentioned. If it does, kudos. I really hope it does. I really hope it gives me an incentive to join these things without making it to where I have to get a scope in an event, because that would be horrible, chaotic.
Yeah, that would be horrible.
Well,
Can you
think
imagine?
about it. That would give people an incentive to go into events.
Okay, guys, if you win this event, you get 2
Stuart is hoping the cage fighting spot becomes operational.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, from what I saw in one of the outposts at the border of C2 and B2, no, yeah, there's actually no, it's actually C2 and B2. There was an outpost where I suppose there's gonna be NPCs and also an arena there, which I suppose you're gonna go there and fight your ass off.
Yeah, I found that. I'm assuming that's where an event's actually gonna be. Like,
Yeah, probably. Unless it's gonna be like a main NPC village. So.
I think it could be that, and I also think that an event could be out there as well. You know, for people who want to specifically join, like a brawling fight or a team one, they definitely think if they continue with the events, they're gonna add that as one of the events, being able to just fist fight, like a fist fighting only event. I definitely think that's something they'll add. What is the okay? How about this? What's the thing you guys are most worried about this game? The number one thing that bothers you, or you are most worried in general about?
That they might actually focus on the fixing the events than the game. I don't know, maybe that.
Okay.
And
I would have to
might
say
not add that many content in it that might be pleasable to what we were expecting.
I personally would have to say I'm most worried that they're probably going to take longer than I would want them to get the fortifications and whatnot implemented. I think that should be one of the first things they do implement. Because there's a lot of people that are wanting to actually bunker down and get a base set up so they can start hoarding stuff.
Okay, going off from that, I think my main worry is that this might, and I want to be the guy, it might end up like DayZ. Like, where the developers do really good at the beginning, really, really good, because they did do good at the beginning of DayZ, guys. But I really hope this doesn't turn out to be something that has so much potential, has so much expectation, does so well, because we've heard so much about this game. We've gone over so many facts about this game in our discussions that this game seems like it's going to be amazing. I mean, right? This seems like it's going to be game-breaking, a new genre, the best of this best, etc. But my problem is, yes, they've been updating fast now, and I appreciate that, but what if it slows down? And then it slows down again, and then again,
Who actually made
and then finally dies. Actually don't know.
Bohemia Interactive,
Yeah.
I don't know much about those
Neither do I.
production, but the people that are actually making the SCUM are completely different, and they actually already did put out games before and stuff like that.
Yes.
So I kind of have I'm more confident in them that are actually gonna keep up with it.
We got something from Keg.
Yeah, I know of Bohemia Interactive from before, and Bohemia Interactive is actually an awesome publisher of games. They've published Arma 2 and Arma 3, probably also Arma 1. I'm not familiar with that game. But they have a lot of awesome... They have an awesome approach to DLCs and how to keep on working on the game for ages after it comes out. The problem is that they made a separate studio for DayZ, and then everything became a steady shit show from there.
Yeah, that's like, for me, like, as I'm saying, it's like, they're a separate development team too, but like I said before, I'm a pessimist. I look at things on the bad side and for the best. I will always look that way because I don't want to get my hopes up, because when that happens, you know, things go down. So
the whole
he's eating, yeah.
the whole stream.
Yeah, blowing up balloons, playing with the mic, constantly going in and out. Syntex just, now he's trying to shank people. Look at that, he's played too much Scum.
Next thing you know, he's
just,
gonna pull
like,
up
you
a
know,
freaking
it's
fidget
like
spinner.
it's a game that's so good in my mind that I have so much hopes for it, and I think it's gonna be such a great game that I'm equally worried about it. Like, I want it to succeed so much that I'm scared it's going to fail, you know?
Yeah. I hear ya.
I think that's a relatively safe thing to say. Is there anything you guys want to like bring out? I know two of you are going to be leaving shortly, and it's going to take a while to mess with cameras. So, do you guys
Dude,
want to
don't you
continue
mean
for a little
3?
bit longer? Like, how much? 3.
Well, yeah, Kakadane, Syntex, and Completely Average are all in Europe.
Takadana, you
right?
said you were going to leave?
Oh no,
I
I'm just
didn't
saying.
say, but I'm probably
yeah.
gonna leave because
Okay,
I do have
so-
a job.
How long do you guys want to continue this? And we'll kind of do some brief discussion at the end of it. You know.
Yeah, I mentioned 10 minutes in the chat earlier.
Is that everybody's basis though?
It seemed
I
like
kind of want to get us
Syntax.
to all wrap up at the end.
Yeah, it seems like Syntax was of the same persuasion.
Okay, so we'll do about like 7 more minutes then and wrap it up, end it, and that will be a stream for today. I think as far as it goes, we covered pretty much everything in terms of what we wanted to go over.
He is complaining about me eating the whole stream.
But he's playing with
playing
Pikachu.
about the fucking stream.
Going with this,
I mean, God knows what Chaos is doing. Luckily, we don't even
No,
have it.
no.
What?
Don't go there, Syntax. Ignore it. Chaos, say nothing.
What?
No words.
Just for you. Just for you.
One thing
You
I've
have to get to say words.
one thing I've noticed though that kind of raises an eyebrow is the whole pink military boots. Is that a thing in Croatia?
Don't you knock my pink. No, I'm kidding.
I wear them all the time.
Those neon backpacks, those are freaking
No,
hilarious.
okay, no. I have to point out Syntax. The katanas and the Polizia. Katanas? You guys really use katanas?
No, but we actually only private citizens pretty much have them. And
Yeah,
that's
so
kinda
you'd find them in a house, not in a police
Yeah,
station.
no, the Polizia.
And on the note of pink military boots, is that also normal?
Not for me.
No, in Croatia.
For what?
Well, yeah, a
Pink-
lot of
like,
people
pink
actually do
camo.
like to carry them, yeah. And
Okay,
you
but what
can
I'm
find
saying is
them
like
at
for
pretty
military
much
gear though. Like, what
anywhere.
the hell are you blending in with?
No, you can actually find
Yeah.
military gear anywhere. It's not.
Oh no,
a
he's
particular deal.
talking
for
about that
instance-
specific color.
Yeah,
Syntax.
What specific color?
pink military
Yeah.
boots.
Military boots.
Pink,
Oh,
military, anything.
Yes, you can find that even. Girls like to wear those.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Oh my God.
A lot of it.
Well, okay, but what I'm going off is like I know camouflage pink is there for like hunting and stuff, but military?
Yeah, I was just in
Like,
the store.
where are you blending in?
Bro, I was just going to find. I was just going to buy today the shoes for running, and there's actually a hunter part of this in the store where there's only
Yeah.
military gear in it.
Okay, I get that, but like, wait, strictly military and this pink camouflage?
Oh, you can, yeah.
'Cause my biggest question is like, I get brown, I get green.
It's not supposed to be camouflage, for fuck's sake. It's supposed to look trendy or cool.
No, I definitely get
Yeah,
that, like,
but
for
like
real life.
military outfit
I get that for real life, but I found military grade camouflage that was pink
did
with
I.
digital, and like to me it's like I get it, like for like customizing your character how you want, but like in terms of like realism, like
But
come,
it's
have
the
you seen
same-
anything?
It's the same thing as in real life. You
That
have
and those
it,
neon
you aren't-
backpacks, like, oh my god.
Yeah, you
No.
aren't. You are not obliged. How the fuck do you say it?
Obligated?
You aren't forced to use them. Yeah, obligated to use them. You can use them if you think they look cool, and if you don't care about camouflage rating.
No. What Cag and I are going off from, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, is military personnel only, not civilians. Like, because this is military gear. That's
Not
digital
fashion.
camo in this.
Yeah, not fashion.
Yeah, this isn't like this is military, actual specific camouflaged gear. This isn't
Think
civilian
military
gear.
uniform instead of civilian.
Yeah, think actual military. I don't know anyone or any nation that uses pink
If you didn't,
digital camouflage
if you
regulation.
did not, have you read
There's an
the
anime
actual
about it as well.
description?
You watch anime, supposedly.
Have you watched the actual description of the military boots? What does it say?
No, you mean Reddit?
Huh?
You mean Reddit?
Oh,
What
when you
Reddit?
when you load the actual boots.
Description.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
it say?
We're in production from the 50s to the 90s by the Army.
Oh, okay.
So
That explains it then.
It was
In other
not
words, they're antiques.
created- Yeah, antiques. Anybody could have got their hands on it and just painted whatever the fuck. they
Okay, yeah,
wanted.
that definitely explains it then. Yeah. See, I didn't actually read it, so that's information I didn't know about. So since you told it,
But
now
it
has
was-
a reason, I can accept it.
It was produced by the Army, though. Pink shoes produced by the Army.
Yeah, I get that because I mean, like I said, going off if it was produced for any reason, and I don't think at all military ever used it to blend in with anything. Okay, I think
Yeah.
it was just don't-
I could see it just being a
Can we get off the
publicity
pink
stunt
boots already?
for the whole breast cancer thing.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Other than for I don't know, like a nation's colors,
I can
maybe?
see
Is
them
that
doing it
correct?
as a publicity stunt for the breast cancer foundations or whatnot. There's a lot of people that make things that are pink just for those kind of events.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be the actual military that made them pink. It might be any
Yeah.
individual that.
Yeah,
got
we
their
were just
hands on those
specifically
and
talking about the
made them.
military, though, but you explained it away, so it makes sense why it's in the game. It's just, I mean, aside from fashion, guys, please don't use pink. You're not gonna blend in. And if you do, developers, please change it. Like, make the colors of the camouflage actually matter what you're around. Like, don't, like, if I'm
You're
wearing
lying in the
completely black
grass,
camouflage and I'm standing in front of a green bush, don't turn me invisible.
Or if you're
Make them
crawling in the
suffer.
grass and you're wearing white camo,
Bright yellow.
let them disappear.
Orange.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you guys for stopping by. I know we all really appreciate it. Don't forget to follow, or if you're really amazing and you want to support us, subscribe to each of us. And then also, that's a thing now. You have to do that from now on, just saying. Anyways, don't forget to follow, subscribe to Kag's and my own SlaveToTheGames YouTube channel. And just so you know, Kag is actually Completely Average Gaming. Just so you can actually search it up specifically. It's not just Kag. We just shorten it because it's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Anyways, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channels, follow our Twitches, subscribe to my Twitch, and then subscribe and follow to Kakadani, SyntexToxy, and Cha0ticrob's Twitch as well. We are all amazing. I know at least I personally am every single day. Syntex is mostly every single day. And then everybody else likes to hop in, and we all try to meet up as much as we can every day to talk about the game, play the game together. And we're generally streaming every day.
Yeah.
And together. So, thank you guys for stopping by. If there's anything else you want to say,
Thank you so much for watching.
Hey, Cha0ticrob signing off.
And Gag.
see you guys later. You guys have a nice day.
Cheerio.
So, mates,
Bye bye.